Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, folks? It is your boy right here. It is MMA Reloaded. I know you see the MMA Reloaded merch behind us, folks. Don't hesitate to go to MMAReloaded.co.uk or eBay to pick your poison. You know, we got everything from casual to sports wear to shit you can wear out on a date with your girl. Yeah, at the moment, folks. You know how it is. The revolution is building and it's building day by day. I thank you all for supporting. I thank you all for uh for giving it all good vibes. You know what I'm saying? All the views and stuff. It means a lot to me, man. So, folks, as as I reach today, we reach MMA Reloaded Raw Talk, the 42nd episode, folks. 42. Wow. Wow. It is it is a fucking it is a fucking landmark, bro. It is a landmark. I'll tell you right now, it is a landmark. Um, it's a landmark for me because I started doing these podcasts, folks, and I thank all the fighters who who have joined me. Yeah, chatting the good old sweet science, the good old mixed martial arts. I thank all the fighters who have joined me for all 42 episodes. Um, it's been a pleasure to keep you guys entertained during the pandemic. And if you're in the UK during lockdown, I know how much of a pain in the ass it is, and it's been a pleasure, guys. So, all the soppy shit aside, yeah, all the crap aside, it is episode 42 of MMA Reloaded Raw Talk, the show where we talk real, we never lie, cheat, and steal. Folks, today we have a big man show for you guys. We have a huge show today. In the form, yeah, folks, let me just adjust that shit real quick. Yeah, you gotta want to see that. So, fucking hell, fucking camera, fuck's sake. So, folks, we have a great show for you guys, man. Episode 42, MMA Reloaded Raw Talk. Yeah, and it gives me great pleasure. It gives me a great pleasure today, tonight, wherever you're tuning in, however you're tuning in, folks. It gives me great pleasure to introduce my guest tonight as a real young veteran in his career, only 31 years old, but he's done it. He's been there and he's done it. He's still doing it big. At PFL, he's going to be competing in the lightweight division of the upcoming PFL 2021 season. He is a former UFC veteran, going 4-2 in the UFC. He reached the Rising Fight Federation. He reached the Rising Grand Prix tournament semi-finals in 2019. So, folks, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Johnny Hollywood Case as our guest here tonight. And folks, it's been a great ride, you know, these past couple of weeks in the UFC. You know, it is from Fight Island to now in Vegas. Alexander Volkov versus Alistair Overeem was it was a great show. It was a great event. A show where, folks, you can tell that it may be time for Alistair Overeem to call it a career. It may be time for even Frankie Edgar to call it, or Clay Guida, Michael Johnson. But these guys don't want to, man. I'll tell you why, folks, yeah, and I'll be as blunt as possible. It's because they know how important it is um, in this game, and as MMA has evolved and keeps evolving, they know how important it is to keep hanging in there, to keep themselves in tip top shape. They love the challenge, they love the test, they love being battle tested, and that's why they keep fighting, you know. And I have absolutely utmost respect for Michael Johnson, Clay Guida, and I love watching legends fight. I love watching veterans fight because, especially guys, are still in great shape. Guys who still have what it takes. 3 losses in a row, folks. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Fans, all right. So, um, fans have this notion, they have this little opinion, yeah, where if a guy is on a 7-fight win streak, yay, he's the greatest. Holy shit, bro. And then he loses 1 fight. Hey man, don't worry. He'll be back the next time, you know? And then he loses another. Man, this guy's shit. So, what does that say? Right? Those guys, those fans to me, yeah, who have opinions like that are just casual. They're just casual fans to me, man. I have no um no real, it's not necessary for any real MMA fan to entertain casual fans like that. Because those guys are just uneducated pricks. Once they learn how the sport is, and they learn that as you know, you never get a damn you never get a um an easy task. There is no way such a thing called an easy fight in mixed martial arts or in combat sports, unless you're Jake Paul. Yeah? But that's I don't like to call that fighting. Fuck that. Sweep that all shit under the rug. All that celebrity boxing, YouTuber boxing bullshit is not real. The real fighters, yeah, there's no easy task to get to the top at all. Yeah. And I think as your challenges go forward, as your career progresses, as fights get tougher, yeah, you can train and train and train and train and train. The other guys, you got to think your opponent's probably training just as hard as you are, right? This is what makes mixed martial arts so great, folks. Is that 2 fighters, women and men, both. Yeah, folks. The women they give everything to this sport. Women fighters give everything to this sport. They have um, everything. You know, they have what it takes. The women have worked so hard, folks, to um, the women have worked so hard, folks, um, to get to into the UFC. Full stop. Right? With the guys, you see, as championship pictures evolve, as the divisions have evolved, as new challenges, breakthrough stars come through, the 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 men's division are are training a lot more hard. They're intense. They don't care about. You see training partners fight training partners. Our teammates fight teammates. It's because when a championship is on the line, right, or you have a shot to become UFC champion or any champion in MMA, Bellator, PFL, whatever it may be, you throw it all out the window and you focus on yourself, right? As tasks get tougher, yeah, folks, anything can happen. That's my point. Yeah, really, anything can happen, man. In mixed martial arts, you know, and that's just the way it is. You know, this is it's a tough ass sport. We've seen it with Jerome Rivera, my boy. He's a renegade. I love him. I love him like a brother. You know, he works his ass off, right? He works his butt off. And when you see um when you see him now in UFC, he puts on great performances. He puts on good shows. Yeah, folks, but it takes fighters to get acclimated. It may take some fighters longer than others. Jerome was a #1 contender for the Legacy Flyweight Championship. There is no reason why why he's not going to succeed in the UFC. All he needs is that one more try. He's had such tough fights. Francisco Figueiredo, brother of the champion. Yeah, he's not a slouch at all by any stretch of the imagination. If you're the brother of the champ, okay, you know some shit, and he's probably taught Davison shit. You know, Tyson now took that fight on short notice. what 4 days, 3 days notice. Jerome took that fight with Tyson Nam, and he took Nam in the first round. Then the second round got KO. But it just goes to show how talented and how hungry Jerome Ferrer is. And that's what I'm talking about, folks. As divisions grow, as they evolve, and new guys come in, um, it sort of makes the guys in the top 15, in the top 10, top 5 up their game, a little bit more. It's because these guys at top 10, top 15, they're up in their game to climb that ladder as well. That's what makes MMA. That's what makes MMA so great, man. To be honest, it's a great sport of life, folks. And then when we talk about the PFL, folks, and um, relating to uh, relating to the show tonight, episode 42. Once again, thank you so much, folks, for joining up, and so liking and subscribing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, folks. MMA Reloaded. You'll notice it's us, man, by that big ass logo right there. Big ass logo right there. Yeah, folks. So, in relation to tonight's show, with the PFL, it's a new wave. I love watching the PFL, folks. It's like a league, right? You have a leaderboard, you have point systems for each fighter after each fight. And that's the way they sort of and it's always like a tournament league format. So the right guy earns the championship shot, or you have to fight to earn it. You have to fight so you don't get knocked out of the tournament. You have to fight. So um, you have to fight your way, man. And it's like it reminds me of the old Pride setup where they had to fight 3 fights in one night or something. In the PFL, bro, you're in the quarterfinals, you're working your way in the Grand Prix, and then the next thing you know, you're going for the championship belt and $1 million bonus at the end. It doesn't get any better than that. And if and now with in 2021, the PFL um have really dug it in, man. This season, all-star cast, man, all-star cast, folks. You can check it out on MMA Reloaded on Instagram or directly on the PFL MMA page. The roster reveal so far, man, for 2021. Lightweights and welterweights have been revealed so far, as have the light heavyweights. I'll tell you something, folks. This season in the PFL is going to be one to watch. Ain't no doubt about that. And my boy right now, who will join us, folks, in the next 15 minutes, Johnny Case, will also be a part of that season in the PFL, folks. 2021 lightweight division aside Anthony Pettis and Olivia Obama-Mercier. You have Marcin Held in there. You have real prospects, real young veterans even. Guys who have been champions or guys who have been number one contenders elsewhere in the now honing their skills at the PFL. It is going to be a great tournament to watch, folks, this season. It's going to be a great time, and I love the way PFL score it. For bonuses, for wins, for a method of a victory. You get your points, you deserve them. The fighters earn points by method of victory and victory overall. It is a great scoring system they got there, man, and I love watching the new age. And then, folks, as folks, as we move on, I want to just do the particulars first, actually, folks. Let's do the particulars. Let's bring Johnny Case on the show, folks. So you guys just gonna have to bear with me. Keep your videos locked in. Keep your videos on, and Johnny Case will be on the show soon, folks. So, Johnny Case will be on the show. Brussels. Welcome back, folks. Of course, we had to do the particulars. We had to get Johnny Hollywood Case on the alert, 15-minute alert, actually. So, yeah, folks, you know, when I speak about the UFC's return to Vegas, and it started off with Michael Chiesa and Neil Magny, I want to talk about the welterweight division, folks, because we got Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns, folks. We are at fight week right now. We are fight week. Yeah, we're 5 nights away. But when we look, we're actually, yeah, we're actually 6 nights. We're actually, yeah. Well, Saturday night, 5 nights away, yeah. We're live and direct. UFC 258. Kamaru Usman will defend the championship against Gilbert Burns. A lot of fans, folks, are counting out Kamaru Usman heading into this fight. Why are they counting him out? I have no idea. No idea at all, folks, why they're counting out Kamaru Usman coming into this fight. You know, a lot of fans are hyping Gilbert Burns because, of course, I know why. You know, everyone knows why Gilbert Burns is on a hype. Because he deserves it. You know, he deserves the hype he's been getting. His form has been fantastic as of late. Hasn't lost a fight in 7 fights. You know, he's hasn't lost a fight. I think 5 or 6 fights actually, folks. Yeah, the win streak for Gilbert Burns. Lost to Dan Hooker a couple of years ago. The thing is with Gilbert Burns, folks, is he's evolved. He's a veteran. He's a veteran of the game, man. He's a veteran in the UFC. It's like 12 UFC appearances for Gilbert Burns. But Kamaru, you know, just about the same. I think just a bit less. But Kamaru Usman's fast risen. He is a fast rising star. One of the fastest rising stars to earn a UFC championship. He hasn't done it in 3-4 fights. Like, you know, he hasn't got his title shot in his first 3-4 fights. Nah, he's gotten his championship shot by defeating and dominating world-class competition. Yeah, world-class competition. And that's what Kamaru Usman does. He dominates, guys. You know, his wrestling is on another level. His striking is ever evolving. You know, and we see it. We saw it against Colby Covington, how tough he is. We saw it against Jorge Masvidal. You know, whether it's a short notice fight, whether it's a fight on a full camp, he knows how to win. He knows how to adapt his game. You know, with Gilbert Burns, there is always that mystery with this boy. Is he gonna come out technical? Is he gonna use his jiu-jitsu? Yeah. How is his boxing gonna be? Is he gonna use his reach against Kamaru Usman? His wrestling? You never know, folks. You know, nobody knows. The thing is with this game, folks, is that's the whole unpredictability. We can match the styles up on paper, but in the cage it may be something different. In the cage, Kamaru Usman may boxed with Gilbert Burns for the first couple of rounds, and then use his cardio advantage to his use his cardio to his advantage. Use his wrestling after that. You never know, But for the welterweight championship, folks, you best believe it's going to be a war. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be a war. So, who faces the winner of that fight? Who faces the champ after? Jorge Masvidal? Yes. In my opinion, Jorge Masvidal does deserve a shot on a full camp. Yeah, folks, there is absolutely no doubt about that. He deserves a championship shot on a full camp. And what Jorge Masvidal does is, what Jorge Masvidal did the first time is he, on 3 weeks' notice, is basically, not even 3 weeks' notice. What am I talking about? On a couple of days' notice, I think, man. Like 48 hours notice, 24 hours notice, he had to lose 20 pounds. I don't think it was fair to Jorge Masvidal, and I think he does deserve another shot at the belt on a full camp, and I think we need. I think Jorge Masvidal does deserve another shot. Then I think Michael Chiesa and Colby Covington. I love that fight. I think Michael Chiesa deserves the high rank fights now. I think he deserves it, folks. Michael Chiesa has always been such a great fighter to watch. He's been such a great fighter to watch. He he loves to. He used to be such a big grinder before, and scrap and do all this sort of crazy shit. But now, Michael Chiesa is a world-class mixed martial artist. He's finally tuned his skills. His wrestling is so good, and the way he changes his levels, the way he did it against Neil Magny. He put on a wrestling clinic, folks, But that's not all he did. His boxing was on point. His jab, he was mixing up his combinations. And the speed that Michael Chiesa is operating with now is nasty. He's in his prime, folks. And I think Michael Chiesa versus Colby Covington, scrap of the year right there. I don't even have to see it. I know it's going to be scrap of the year. So, folks, as that went down, and as UFC 258 goes down, I want to talk about the heavyweights. So, what goes down for Alexander Volkov next? You got Rosenstrike versus Cyril Gane. You got the winner probably of Francis Ngannou and Stipe Miocic facing Volkov next. You got Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis in there. I mean, folks, it is one hell of a division up there, a heavyweight. You can see the cracks in the heavyweight division starting to fill up. You see, we had a few gaps in the heavyweight division where after Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic, we knew Francis Ngannou was going to be the man, but who was going to be the man after the man? Who was going to be number 3 ranked, number 4 ranked, number 5? Who was going to be that top 10? Who was going to make it up? And now I think it's becoming a whole lot clearer now for us fans now, folks. As to how the heavyweight division will evolve and who will consume that top 10. Folks, you know what? Yeah, we are 5 minutes away, of course, from being joined by Johnny Hollywood Tate, young veteran in the game, folks. 31 years old. He's in his prime, but he's done basically everything, folks. Been in the UFC, bought his own MMA promotion, which we'll talk about, folks, as well. You don't want to miss this one, folks. Combine my energy with his. Shit, it's all gravy out here, man. I know. I just want to get something out the way, I know a lot of fans. I know when on these breakdowns, folks. I don't know if you, but for anyone who is subscribed to my Instagram page, to my MMA Reloaded Instagram page, y'all may have seen the shout out which I do every single time. After every single event, we do a shout out, folks. And the shout out has evolved over the years, folks. Now it's evolved into a proper analytical segment where, I watch the fights, and I watch the fights and I analyze round by round, minute by minute, maneuver by maneuver, folks, what is going on. I do it for the fans, I do it for you guys. If you watch it, if you like it, great. I do it for the real fans who want to know what goes on, who wants to know the movements, how boring the fight was, how exciting the fight was. I do it for you guys. I feel like if you write it, I feel like the way we post it up, folks, the way we analyze them, I want to thank all y'all for liking the post and for liking the way we do the shout out. Um, I do it because it's just out of passion, really. It's just out of passion, man. I do it because I love this sport. I love the action in the cage, and if I can't call the action on a commentary booth, I can damn sure call the action, through Instagram, through social media. Yeah, folks. The shout outs are also available on Facebook. Twitter doesn't allow the fucking the character capacity for the shout out, folks. They ain't ready for that. They ain't ready for that. They ain't checking for that Twitter ain't. So Twitter's only like a short little caption thing. But folks, yeah, follow our Twitter as well. Johnny Case is waiting, folks. Let's get his shit on. Let's do his shit. Yes. So, yes. Hollywood.
How's it going?
What's going on, brother?
What's going on? Not much, man. Just out and about, running some errands in between practices today, and yeah, enjoying this beautiful Las Vegas warm day.
Yeah, man. I wish it was the same down here, bro. I wish it was the same down here, man. We're snowing out here, bro. Um,
Yeah, I just came back from Iowa, and we had a blizzard there too, so I'm no stranger to the blizzards.
so you know how
Where are you at right now?
I'm in London, bro. I'm in the UK.
Oh, yeah. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's probably really cold there.
yeah, man. It's snowing like a bitch out here, man. Now Johnny, brother, is welcome. First of all, brother, is MMA Reloaded Raw Talk. It's a 40-second episode, and you know what, bro? It is a real pleasure right now, man. I've been following your career since the UFC. And it's a real pleasure to get the chance to sit down with you and talk the sweet science, bro, if you will. Um, first of all, bro, with the pandemic and everything going down the way it did, how was that? How was that for you, bro? How was it training during the pandemic, if you did? And yeah, man, overall, how's it going, man?
It wasn't. I mean, it sucked because here in Vegas they closed down the gyms for like a few months, 3 months, and like I was still able to work out and like I had some weights and stuff, and like I go hit pads. And like my buddy's got a garage gym and stuff, so I was able to like make the most of it more so than a lot of other people, especially people in London. I know like all the UK fighters, like they were just without, and so I was definitely fortunate enough. Like I'd have places to train, and it wasn't like the real deal training with your team, you know what I mean, and getting like those good looks and working, vibing off everybody on the team. But we made the most of it, and now I got a fight ready to go, and I'm back in the gym full time. And dude, I'm excited to get the season underway.
Man, I'm excited to get you to see you back in that season, man. So some all-star shit going down there, man. Um, but yeah, bro. I mean, how did it for those fans who don't know who Johnny Hollywood Case is, and I don't know why they wouldn't know who Johnny Case is. Take their heads out of their asses. But yeah, man. How did it all start for you in mixed martial arts, bro? In martial arts overall. How did it start for Johnny Case?
So for me, I grew up in Iowa, and in Iowa wrestling is the sport there. So I started wrestling when I was 3 years old, 4 years old, and wrestled all the way to high school, and you know, I had a couple offers to wrestle in college, but I was kind of like a wild kid. You know, I was super into girls and partying, and didn't really want to go to school any longer. You know, so my uncle, he's a police officer in back in Iowa, he took an amateur fight, and I remember going to watch it, and just being like, man, who in their right mind would want to get in a cage and fight someone? You know what I mean? But it had kind of had that like double-edged sword where it's like, okay, I don't want to fight, but I want to learn how to fight, and I want to be able to fight in case I really needed to. And then once you get into the sport, man, it gets a hook sunk in you, and then I was training, and I was going with guys who were fighting in the training room. The guys were fighting pretty consistently and doing well. And I started doing well with them in the gym. So then I'm like, all right, now I kind of want to see where I'm at, So started fighting and just instantly fell in love with the sport.
And you know what, bro, as I was reading today, but of course, I've got to do my research on because I'm going Hollywood today, bro. And
I
want to talk about the MCC, but
yeah.
2015, I believe. You got quite a active life outside the cage, Johnny. And you purchased the MCC in 2015, bro. From Ryan Haas. Bro, to me, that's fucking amazing. It's amazing to see a fighter with such entrepreneurial knowledge like that. What? How did that come about for you, man?
So it came about. So actually, the guy at the time, Ryan Haas, was my manager. He was my manager for my, for like my professional fighting. And then also, I fought for MCC. I was MCC's lightweight champion, as well as Jeremy Stevens, Josh Neer, all these other guys that were MCC vets. You know what I mean? And it came to a point where Ryan was he was sick of it. He was sick of dealing with the politics of the sport, and I had just came off of a bonus, and he was like, "Hey, man, like, you want to buy this company? Like, I think you could have a lot of success at it, and that's something I've always really cared about anyway, is being able to help guys on that level get to the next show and make a career out of it. You see so many guys, so many promoters on the regional circuit that will get guys fights because they sell tickets, and they make money for the promoter. So you'll have a guy that's like 6-0, 7-0 fighting a guy that's like 1-10, you know what I mean? Just to get that guy a win and get him paid. It's like, well, what are you going to do when that guy fights a real motherfucker? You know what I mean? The guy that he's been fighting, he could have had a real chance if you would have just been a good promoter and match him up with good fights. With that being said, not throwing him into the wolves to get, to get beat up. And, that's what it all comes down to, man. I want to give back to the sport that's given me so much.
Oh, definitely. No, 100%. 100%. But when you talk about mismatches like that, and you talk about having your cash cow or undefeated guy that you want to build up, fight someone who's a 1-10 or 0-10 or something like that. I see that now, bro, when I watch Bellator. And I think to myself, bro, you got this guy like they brought in Robson Gracie, bro, who was 2-0 at the time, and they made him fight this guy, Billy Goff, who was at 3-5 or 3-6 or something, bro. And Gracie got knocked out, bro. And I was like, holy shit! Bro.
Yeah, I mean, it happened. You see it happen all the time with there's definitely tough journeymen in this sport who've just, like I said, they took fights against tough guys, and like they have potential to be a really good fighter on the world class, but they just took dumb fights and then they ruined their chances. You know what I mean? Me as a pro, I started my pro career as 0-2. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people who go 0-2 usually fucking hang it up, but I kind of knew that I wasn't doing it like a professional. I wasn't training and taking the sport seriously like I should have been. Yeah. So luckily I was able. That's how I, turned my career around, going 0-2 as a pro.
Yeah, man. I mean, when we talk about that, bro, they say mixed martial arts is 90% mental and 10% physical, or you can go the other way around. But how important is it, bro? No matter how old a fighter gets or how many fights you have under your belt. How important is it for a fighter to stay mentally strong? Bro, it's well enough to stay strong there, but to stay strong in there, man. How important is that? Maybe coming off a loss or before a fight. Yeah,
It's everything, dude. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, that's what it is, between the ears. You know what I mean? The fight, you're not really fighting your opponent. You're fighting yourself. And like, you know what I mean? Whatever your opponent does is completely out of your control. All that you can control is what you react to and how you react. And you know what I mean? Like, it's the mental side is so important. But it's so crazy too, because I see so many guys, even like the big like leagues like the UFC, you know, Bellator, ONE FC, all those guys, and they're such skilled fighters. They're so good. But the moment the fight gets hard, they fucking melt. You know what I mean? They can't stand the heat. That's because they're mentally just not tough. They're used to just being the fucking hammer all the time and just beating guys all the time. But the moment they get a worthy challenge and the guy just isn't going away, then you know they break. So that's kind of one thing that's always been my like one of my biggest attributes is like I'm a really good competitor. I can go in there and I can just fucking I know it's just 15 or 25 minutes of my time,
yeah.
and I can just truly give myself to that fucking 15 minutes. And whatever happens in that 15 minutes, hey, it's out of your hands anyway. You know what I mean? All you can do is prepare the best you can and go in there and do the best you can and execute.
That's
And
it.
if you do that and you still get your ass kicked, well, what the fuck could you do to stop it anyway?
That's it, bro. That's it, man. I mean, we saw it. We saw it Saturday night, bro. UFC Fight Night, with Frankie Edgar and Alistair Overeem, and you see you see it with a lot of guys, bro. Like they come in, train their asses off, and then you come in, you actually step in the cage, and it's totally different. The atmosphere is different, bro. You're one on one, and that's what makes MMA so great, right? Is so unpredictable. One shot, one kick, one choke, one armbar could basically, fuck you up, and it could basically say to you, "Oh shit, you lost." But Johnny, if a guy loses, but he gives it everything, does that sort of give him him or her a consolation at the end of the fight?
Well, it should. I mean, you know, losing sucks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You know what I mean? We work so hard, and like, you know, we sacrifice so much of our life. So anything less than go out there and getting a fucking victory is like a kick in the balls. You know what I mean? It sucks. But at the same time, what I said, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, if you really truly give your best, and this guy's it's just not your fucking night, then it's like, yeah, I mean, it sucks. But don't dwell on it, and don't let it like change how you feel about yourself. And you know what I mean? Like, you're a world class fighter and you're fighting world class fighters. So it's like, you know what I mean? You get in there and you mix it up, and if you win, that's what should happen. And if you lose, then there's just less. That's just another lesson in the long road of a fighter's life.
100%. Amen to that, bro. And when we talk about April, man, PFL 2021, lightweight division, so many new signings, bro, including yourself coming in back into the PFL after drawing with Natan Schulte. You know what? And when you when you take back in that fight, when you look back into that fight and the draw with Natan Schulte, who's now lightweight champion, coming into the next season, what did you what did you take away from that draw with Natan? Because oh man,
I mean, it is what it is. You know, I feel like I won that fight anyway, but the format was, you know, he kind of wrestled me up. He controlled me the first round. Didn't really hit me. Didn't really go for any submissions. Second round, I clipped him pretty good. Had him on his back feet, on his back foot the whole round. Um, and you know, I was not even half the fighter I am now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I made so much progress and so much progression in my attributes, fighting in Japan and fighting for Ryzen,
yeah,
and learning that and fighting that new rule set really fucking invigorated my passion and love for the sport. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was getting sick and tired of like American MMA, but with the soccer kicks and the head stomps, it's like it's another element that you know what I mean. It's like it's new to my game, so that like really invigorated me as a fighter, and it really like I fucking fell in love with training again. I fell in love with getting better, and I'm such a better fighter now than the first time that Nathan and I fought, and you know, and that's not taking anything away from him. He's fucking double, you know, 2-time world champion. So I'm just really looking forward to getting in there and mix it up, because I know it's gonna be a completely different fight.
and now with the All Star roster reveal that PFL announced, bro, for the lightweight division. Is there anyone in particular you're looking forward to mixing it up with this season in PFL?
Totally, yeah. Nathan and fucking Pettis. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
oh,
Pettis would be like, what a fucking legend of the sport. You know what I mean? WEC champion, UFC champion. So for me to really go out there and fucking put on a show and you know show these casual fans like just because you're not in the UFC doesn't mean you're not fucking world champion level. You know what I mean? And I know where my skill set's at, and you know I really want to put on some really entertaining, memorable fights for the fans. And I think, you know, what better way than fighting a legend like Pettis?
hell yeah. Oh, bro, I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that shit. And um, you know, Johnny, you were saying about how Rising made you fall in love with training and the sport again, bro. When you joined PFL, when you joined PFL, bro, back in 2018, you know, of course, you were coming off the UFC career. You were coming off your career on the regionals in Iowa. You know, and then Rising. You've been everywhere, bro, and you're still only 31. You know, it's a fucking prime right now. You know, what attracted you to go to PFL, bro? What said, you know what, PFL is the new shit. You know, that's my area.
So I actually got signed to PFL because my girlfriend at the time was training at Extreme Couture. I was at the MMA lab in Phoenix, and she was
Okay.
at Extreme Couture where Ray Steffo coaches. And there was one of the fighters that qualified for the tournament in 2018 didn't pass his medicals and wasn't cleared to fight. So they needed another replacement. So what they were gonna have me and Jason High fight for that and the winner gets the eighth seed. Gets the eighth seed and gets in the tournament. He missed weight by like 6 pounds,
Yeah.
right? And then so I advanced, but not only did I advance, but Ray paid me my show and win money on top of that, and just gave me into the, you know what I mean? So he paid me to basically take a fight in the tournament, you know what I mean? Then I got a draw, made good money in the tournament, and then it was like an extra 50K just for being an eighth, you know, making it to the tournament. So financially speaking, you know, that on top of winning the $1 million, you know what I mean? Like the PFL is the best. And then that aside, the fighter relations, man, they're just so fucking good. You know, Ray was a K1 kickboxer himself. He was a fighter. So, you know, he gets it. He understands what fighters go through, and he truly is one of the good guys in the sport.
And I guess that's what makes fighters happy, right? As well, you know, is having a boss, like if is having a boss who basically gives a shit. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And a guy who, you know, you see it at one championship with Chatri, you know, a lot of guys respect that guy because he respects them, you know, and and having a boss like, or a promoter like Ray Seffo, like you said, legend of the damn sport. Yeah, he knows what fighters go through, and that $1 million, bro. Whew, you know that's a addition to your bank balance, but it also motivates you, right? And it gives you that kick up the ass to go in there and take the win.
Without a doubt. You know, I told my kids, you know, they want me to move back to Iowa. You know, I have 2 little boys that want to move back to Iowa, and I told them when Daddy wins a world title, I'll move back home. And you know what I mean? I'll have accomplished everything I wanted to do in this sport. You know, and $1 million is a pretty good fucking bankroll to start something more outside of this too. You know what I mean? To have me making more money. So you know, I'm focused on the title. That's what I'm focused on, and then that money will take care of itself. You know, I win this world title, go out there, do my thing, and daddy's moving back home.
And when we talk about this season, bro, and we talk about the PFL, the scoring system's different. It's the motive is different. The award, the bonuses are different. You know, but and that's attracted a lot of big names and a lot of new names this season in 2021. You know, but whether it's the featherweights, the lightweights, welterweights, what are your thoughts on the new signings, bro, and all these all stars, veterans coming to PFL? You know, it's bro, it's a new wave. It's a new wave right now in mixed martial arts, man.
it fucking pumps me up, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like when they released my bracket, I was like, damn, like there's some fucking like good dudes in this tournament. You know what I mean? Like, and that excites me because I know that translates to exciting fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I want exciting fights. I want to fucking knock down, drag out wars. I want slick submissions and clean knockouts. You know what I mean? And in order for that to happen, you got to have world class guys too. So I'm just super pumped, and I'm excited to see all these divisions, see how they play out.
Yeah, man. And you know what, Johnny, bro? I know you train with. We were talking about you train with Cody Stamen, and Justin James, guys like that. Do you, how does it feel to train at such an established gym and have teammates like that who are basically in the same boat you are, and you're learning off each other, you spar with each other, you get better day by day. How does that feel, man?
Man, it's awesome. It's awesome. So the first big gym I trained at was Alliance in San Diego. And
Nice.
that was like, man, you were fighting fucking every day. Like it wasn't like there wasn't like a big team bonding thing. It was like kind of like everybody for themselves, like fucking beat the shit, like, you know what I mean? Just survive or fucking beat the shit out of somebody. Then I went to the lab and it was like a family, like a brotherhood. Like you only get to train with the pro team if like after you go into like some classes and the coach is like, okay, we can trust you to come in here and work and not fucking, try to take everybody's head off.
Yeah.
Where an extreme couture is like the best of both worlds because you have your core group of guys who are like your brothers, your family. You know what I mean? Guys that you can get good, hard, safe work with, and that you're not gonna fucking get cut or not gonna get fucking kneed in the head or something stupid. But also it has all the, Vegas is such a hub for fighting. So you get all these guys from Russia coming in, all these guys from Brazil coming in, all these guys all over the world, Mexico. And it's like, they feel like they got something to prove when they come in the gym. You know what I mean? So it's like going with those guys, you're going to fucking be fighting and you're going to have hard rounds. So it's like, it's the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? Like you can get your good safe work when you get closer to fights, but you also got your fucking, your fucking live action in the gym too. So it's nice.
Oh, damn right, bro. And when we look at how mixed martial arts evolves, right, for a fighter, you look at how you start off from the regionals, you look at how you go through the ranks, you look at how you climb the ladder. How was it, bro, in fighting in Iowa, and then ending up here in the PFL? Yeah, man. How was that at the regional scene?
It was, I mean, dude, it was good. That honestly, like, that was some of the funnest time that I had on the regional scene because when I was on the regional scene, so I was fighting, my brother was fighting, I had 2 uncles that were fighting, 3 nephews that were fighting, 4 cousins that were fighting. So it was like literally like a family affair every time we'd have fights. So that was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? It felt like that we were unstoppable. You know what I mean? Like they could have brought in a fucking army and we would have fucking, you know what I mean? We would have cleaned everybody out. So the regional scene was fucking awesome. You know what I mean? But, I knew when I got into this sport, this is what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And I wanted to make it on the biggest scene and be a world-class fighter. So, now I'm here chasing my dreams and, I'm by myself. My brother, none of my family is in the UFC or Bellator or any big league shows right now. So it's cool. It's awesome that I'm fighting the best in the world, but I wish I could go back to those days sometimes.
Yeah, man. No, I feel you. But it must be gratifying, right? To know that you basically scrapped and worked your ass off to get to the way you are, to get to the UFC, and then in Japan and rising, and now at the PFL, bro. How gratifying was that, bro, for you to know that, Johnny, you didn't have no shortcuts. You fucking worked your ass off, and now look where you are.
Yeah, dude, that's kind of what it was. So for I think before I even got signed to the UFC, I was like 18-4 when I got signed to the UFC. So I had been fucking plugging away, 22 professional fights. I had 2 young boys, 2 young little babies. I was working 2 jobs. I was training full time, and it was fucking hard. I just remember thinking, like, I almost quit. I was like, man, Like I feel like my self-worth is so much higher than what I have to show for my life. You know what I mean? Living in a shitty house and like not you know what I mean? Like just barely making rent, and you know what I mean? It was almost like I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I got two little kids that depend on me, and I need to start fucking being able to provide for them. And then but something told me like, no, just hang out a little bit longer. And then literally within 4 months, I was making my UFC debut after, you know what I mean, after almost hanging it up. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, dreams happen, dreams do come true if you just, but you got to fucking work hard, man. You got to work hard for it. And I thank God every day that I didn't give up, and that I just did the work, and it paid off.
Hell yeah, man! I'm proud of you, bro. And that's what makes fighters fighters, right? So makes a real fighter, man. Yeah. Um.
Exactly.
You know, and well, we were talking about you briefly touched on your career in Rising, and then before that, 4-2 in the UFC, bro. You know, and in my opinion, that was, you know, why did you leave? You know, and that was actually running through my mind. How was it competing in the UFC, and what did you take away from that experience at the end?
It was awesome. So when the Fertitas on the UFC,
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome. I was, you know what I mean? I was awesome. I was 4-1 when the Cheetahs, and then, you know, and then they sold in the new company, and then I had one fight with them, and then also Joe Silva used to be my matchmaker,
Ooh.
and everything was awesome. Joe loved me, like, you know, the UFC treated me fucking awesome. Then Sean Shelby takes over, and it's a completely different story. So what had happened was, I'll kind of paraphrase this a little bit, but
Yeah.
my manager at the time, Ryan Haas, had apparently threatened Sean, told me he was going to kick his ass or something like that. And so, and then at the time, he only had me, Brian Haas, had me, Miles Jury, and Jeremy Stevens signed. And Jeremy talked to Dana, Miles talked to Dana to do his broking, you know what I mean? So Sean had to deal with Ryan, my manager. And so I was collateral damage. Instead of wanting to fucking do business with him, they just cut me. So they didn't have to fucking deal with him anymore. So business, man. Business is business. But you can't hate, man. You just got to fucking pick up the pieces and make the most of it. And that's kind of what I've done.
And that's what you did, man. That's what you did. Fucking rising, bro. To get, I mean, I can only imagine what fucking competing in Japan is like, bro. And rising, what they tried to do with it, I remember when it was first formed, they tried to make it like Pride, you know, bro, and tried to make the same atmosphere, right? Because Pride never dies. So,
Nope.
um, so when you went to Japan, Johnny, how did that come about, bro? How did you feel when you got the call?
I was so excited. I was so stoked. You know, I made my UFC debut in Tokyo, actually,
Oh
at
shit!
Saitama Arena. So I had fought there before. And it was right, you know what I mean? It was after I got cut from the UFC, and I couldn't find fights. I didn't fight for like 2 years. And then I finally got that fight with PFL, and it was a draw. So then I would had to have waited, you know, until the season started again in like the fall, or like, you know what I mean, late summer. So I was like, man, I've already had 2 year layoff. Like I need to find something. And then we got a call. One of my friends was like, hey man, looking for a 55 striker who can take a fight on a week's notice. He's got a passport and ready to go. And I was fighting Yusuke Yachi, who was like an up and coming guy that they were building, and they were really trying to push.
Yeah.
And so I took the fight and went in there and fucking put it on him. You know, fucked him up really good. Got the stoppage.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, well, we're having a Grand Prix in a year, and we would love to have you in it. Would you like a contract? And I was like, you know what, like. I still would have had to wait another, you know, however long to get with the PFL season. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna seize this, and I'm gonna fucking try to win a world title. And ended up coming up short for the champion, but it is what it is, and excited to have another shot at a world title this year.
Man, definitely, and knowing that in 2019 they had the finals on New Year's Eve, and you know, it was in Madison Square Garden and all that stuff, bro. That's gotta be motivating you even more, bro. I mean, hey, Johnny Case, you know, you could be headlining that shit New Year's Eve, 2021. You know, how did you sort of keep up with a PFL after um, after your fight with Nathan Shorte? Did you sort of?
I did. Yep. I watched the 2019 season. Plus, I had a lot of friends that were in it too. David Bulldog Mashad.
Yep.
He was a former teammate at the MMA lab. So yeah, I definitely followed the PFL and was always trying to see potential matchups for the future.
Definitely. And then when we got back to Japan, Johnny, sorry, man, I kind of diverted it. Now when we got back to Japan, bro, and heading into the Grand Prix, how were you feeling at that time, bro? How was it, going into the Grand Prix? Because of course you took the one fight, you got a win, you got invited to do the GP. There you must have been like, either excited, you must have felt some pressure, new promotion, Japan. You must have been like, holy shit, bro.
Not at all, man. I was ready. I knew I was ready. I knew my skill was. I knew that's where I belonged. You know what I mean? I knew I was going to go out there and do what I do. So that being said, like not a lot of people know about this, but 2 weeks before the fight, that Grand Prix finals, I was drilling with a teammate, and we were just supposed to be drilling, and I went to go boom and level change, and he kneed me, boom, hit me right square in the temple, and knocked me out. And I was pissed off, obviously. And then I went home and was getting ready to get in the shower, and fucking like pink fluid started dripping out of my nose. And I was like, what the fuck? And then my girlfriend's like, you need to go to the hospital. This is serious. I'm like, no, it's not a big deal. Like, cause I didn't feel concussed. And then, bent over to grab my pair of socks or something, and it fucking squirted out of my face. So then I was like, okay, let's go. So I ended up going to the doctor, and long story short, I got a what the fuck's it called? SF leak, cerebral spinal fluid. What? Yeah, I got kneed right in the temple, where it's like only my brain took the impact and like didn't really hit any of the bone structure. And it had fucking boom, knocked down brain fluid came dripping out of my fucking nose. So that was 2 weeks before the fight. You know what I mean? And everybody was like, dude, don't fight, whatever. I'm like, no, there's no way I'm not going to fucking go out there and give it my all. You know what I mean? So that wasn't really like on the back of my mind. Like there's no excuses. You know what I mean? I was the best I've ever been. Yeah. I went out there and I fought, and he was better on that night. You know what I mean? Maybe I could have taken the punch a little bit better had I not been knocked out 2 weeks prior, but who knows? You know what I mean? He's Tofig's fucking champion for a reason. So it is what it is.
Definitely, man. And bro, and it was just an experience, right? It was just getting the experience to go compete in Japan, bro. Everyone wants to fucking do it, and now and that's just like another chapter, right? In an already decorated career, shit. Now you move into PFL 2021, and then Johnny, when bro, you've been in this game now for a long time. 2013, I think, right? Well, not 13 years.
2008.
So,
I've been 13 years in the game.
13 years, yeah, bro. Not 2013. Fuck, yeah, bro. 13 years, but is who inspired you to come into the game, man? Who inspired you to come into mixed martial arts? I know you talked about seeing your uncle fight, an amateur fight, and your brother, and you talk about your nephews and your cousins. Was that your inspiration overall at family?
Yeah, definitely. My uncle, he was the reason I got into the sport. You know what I mean? He was the reason because he was a good fighter himself. He never went pro, but he was undefeated amateur. Nice. And fucking he was undefeated. Yeah, he was a fucking good fighter, but he just knew he didn't want to do that. He had a nice career as a police officer, had got that IPERS, got good pay, and like he was happy with that. He did what he wanted to do in the sport, but going to watch him fight and like training with him and shit, and that's what got me into the sport. And then like I said, it sucked and sucks, and I fell in love with the sport, and then I started to look up to myself. You know what I mean? I started to really just kind of set goals for myself and accomplish goals, and just like I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Like, and just started feeling good about myself, becoming my own hero.
Yeah, man. And fighting wise, who were some of the fighters that admired you, bro, and that you admired, and who inspired you to come into this sport?
So my favorite fighter of all time, it was then and still is Dominic Cruz. Just the
Woo.
way he would fight and fucking switch it up and just make guys look fucking dumb. You know what I mean? Just make guys look stupid. And just, mixing the boxing with the takedowns and fucking Dominic Cruz is one of my favorites. Also Carlos Condit
Yep.
was another one of my favorites in WC days.
Yeah.
Those two are who I really looked up to. And then in the UFC, I would say like Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, obviously, Forrest Griffin. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many legends back then where it's like, oh man, Matt Hughes. The list, George St. Pierre, obviously, like the list goes on and on. But my favorite fighter, like tactically and stylistically, would be Dominic Cruz.
Definitely. One of the best fight IQs in the game today, man. You know what, Johnny, brother, and that sort of, wraps this shit up in a nutshell right now, man. And it's been a real pleasure, getting the chance to talk to you, man, and getting your POs. Bro, and I wish you all the best of luck. April 2021, new day. It's a new era for Hollywood Case. Yeah, man. Good luck and thank you so much, man, for coming on the show today, bro.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time.
Respect.
If you guys want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, it's Hollywood Case, and it's Johnny Hollywood Case on Facebook.
There you have it, folks. Johnny Hollywood Case. Yeah, and I may say it myself, man. Future PFL lightweight champ, right here, man.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. You take it easy. Have a good day.
You too, bro. You too.